up, everybody? It's Ep8. Let's talk about it. This is The Handmaid's Tale, Season 4, Episode 8. All right, so this episode was a pretty good episode. If you didn't know, it was directed by Elizabeth Moss herself. And we focused mainly on the Canada storyline. We get a little bit of Gilead a storyline, but mostly focuses on the Canada storyline. It's about power struggles. We see that Moira and we see that June are going through this power struggle together, right? We also see Luke. Luke is going through a struggle trying to deal with June, dealing with her trauma. So he's trying to have patience throughout this situation. And then we have Emily dealing with some things that happened to her. That child, we forgot about. It was a lot of stuff they talked about this episode. I said, child, we've been watching this show a long time, baby, and they done went through some things, honey. I don't want to waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so we start off the episode. June is cutting her hair into a little raggedy bob, baby. She's clipping it off. It's a new year. It's a new her. Okay, she's walking up those steps to prosperity, honey. And she's going to start this year off right. We're in group, and so it's like a group therapy session that Moira has. And Emily is talking, and she's speaking about when she was cutting herself as a coping mechanism for being in Gilead. And so Moira talks about, well, now you're in a different place. You're healing. You're free. Like, yes, but my commander is free too. And so then the ladies talk about the charges that are going to be placed tomorrow against Serena and Fred. And, they're talking about it. They know that June has to be scared. They know that she has to be worried and afraid and it's traumatic and blah, blah, blah. June speaks and she's like, nah, I'm not scared. I'm not afraid. Like, I literally cannot wait. June has this thing, she's back. She's off in Cuckoo June. She have that thing when she starts... Y'all know what I'm talking about. That was happening this episode. Y'all know what I mean. After the meeting over, we see that she has security detail because she has to testify at this hearing tomorrow. It's just a charges hearing or whatever, but that's what she's talking about. She can't wait to testify to finally get up there and be able to tell her story or whatever. After the meeting is over with, her and Moira were talking. Moira was like, it's okay, you'll find your groove with the group, because she was like, you about to put me out or whatever. She's like, nah, you good, you'll find it. And she was like, man, I just thought I would have more in common with these women, feelings and stuff like that. And she was like, well, I don't understand. Well, why aren't they more angry? And Moira was like, how do you know that they're not angry? And, and they kind of like look off into the distance. We see this woman interrupts them and she's trying to get to talk to Emily. And so they're like pushing her. It's like a big commotion or whatever. And June goes out there and the lady gives her a number. She kind of gives it, then she throws it and June picks it up. They make her leave. They carry her out of there. So I couldn't picture who she was, but Emily didn't want to see her at all. And so, they send her out of there. We're back at the house now and everybody's eating dinner. And you can tell that June is just not wrapped up with these trivial things, baby. She don't want to talk about just oh, this is so good and what this is doing for you. Did a class and a book you read and all that. Child, she's not thinking nothing about that. So she questions Emily about, who is this lady, Irene? I knew her as Aunt Irene, so she was an aunt. Then June goes into this thing about how you should face her. You should tell her everything that you want to say to her. You should confront her face to face. And she's like, listen, and Moira was trying to stop it this whole time. And, Emily is just like, listen, everybody is not like you. I always take her back when somebody tell her something about herself that's true. So, June was like, that shut June up. After the dinner is over, they're washing dishes, and Luke wants to come to the hearing the next day. He asked her if it's okay if he comes, and she was like, no, I don't think that you should come. Those things that happened to me, I don't know if you want to hear that. That's just only going to hurt you. He was like, okay, well, I understand or whatever, but you can tell his feelings was a little hurt. And then he talks about Mark, and them thinking about the farmhouse that they brought her to see Hannah. And, maybe they can get some photos of it if you can remember what it looks like. And she's like, why did you tell him that? Why did you tell him that? And she was just like, I can't believe you told him that. I wasn't ready for you to tell him that or whatever. Luke is apologizing, and Moira interrupts them. And June walks out. So, Luke is frustrated. He's kind of going through this thing where he feels like she's a stranger in the house and he can't really talk to her about things or whatever. About Hannah, he in bed, obviously, what we talked about on the last episode. She just tells him, you need to be patient. You need to, this woman is trying to deal with her trauma, and some people just have different ways of getting there. It's a journey. It's a, it's a journey, it's a road that you're gonna have to be patient and have patience for. And he tell her, she says, you don't know everything that she's been through. And he's like, that maybe that's the problem, that I don't know. I thought this was funny scene when Waterford walks in on Serena and she's reading Moira's testimony about his trash sex, okay, and how he couldn't even get it up, which was hilarious. But basically, she's talking to him about how when this testimony was going on, the reading of the testimony, he was rolling his eyes or whatever. You need to start calling her June. These things are important. And he's telling her, you need to come to court with me because looks are important. I'm going to court by myself. You need to come be by my side. Do you want June to think that you scared of her? And so, Serena hate when you say that, child. Why you said that, baby? Because now she ready to go to court. She like, I'm going to see you up in there the next day. And then he tell her, make sure you wear the teal. The outfit from the outfit, baby. Make sure you wear that. Back in Gilead, the handmaids are scrubbing the floor, honey. Now, these some new handmaids now, because they have known Gilead their whole life. They ain't putting up a big fight like the other girls were coming from polite, coming from society, right? So these some new girls. They doing new things, honey. So they scrubbing the floor and apparently not up to Aunt Lydia's standards. She like, what is going on? She walking back and forth. She's pissed off. And then she sees some other aunts. They over there laughing at her. They laughing at her, baby. They giggling. And she goes over there. She's like, listen, ladies, gossip. You know what I'm saying? Gossip is not going to get you anywhere. You don't need to be doing all that in the workplace. And they're like, man, we just were talking about how blessed and how happy we are to see that you are back in service, right? And the girl was clearly mocking her or patronizing her. Aunt Lydia ain't dumb, right? So she just said, okay, I'm going to put that right there. Put that right there. So she turned around. The girl wasn't scrubbing. She said, it's a stain right there. And no, she said, get this spot. And the girl starts scrubbing. She's scrubbing. She said, it's still there. I said, uh-oh. He had that taser stick, baby. I said, oh, my God. Oh, my God. Auntie, don't do that, Auntie. She turned around and the lady said something. She tased her ass too. I said, wait a minute now. Aunt Lydia, calm down. Aunt Lydia is losing it. So now we have the testimony and June goes in to testify and we get basically she gonna give us a recap of all 3 seasons of The Handmaid's Tale. She was talking about stuff, child, I had whole forgot, child. Okay, like she was giving us June face. She was giving us close-ups. Like I said, she talked about absolutely when she was 9 months pregnant, how they are worded her on purpose. I forgot about that, child, and I was like, wow. She left some stuff out too. I mean, she really could have went in, which I'm sure she probably has in her, her transcripts and readings, her whole debriefing or whatever. Baby, she read them down, and when I tell you, she told them from the beginning to end. She talked about Nick and how when she first got there, how they did the ceremony, and all of that stuff. How she made her have sex with Nick so that she could have the baby, and then how she escaped and almost got away and all this kind of stuff, right? So she went through everything, even Lawrence, that whole thing. And then at the end, she was like, thank you for being here. I'm grateful for being here. But there are countless other women, who are in this situation that will never speak. Some of them have died already. They will never be able to speak again. And she asked them to give them the maximum sentence and everything that you can do that's possible to keep these people in jail. These people are crazy. So Luke is back there crying because Luke showed up at the hearing. Nobody told him to show up, but he showed up at the hearing. And so now he knows, what's going on. And even the Waterfords had the look on their face like, oh, snap, this we did that? We did all of that? Yeah, we did. That's crazy. Yeah, you did that. The defense gets up there and tries to, tries to attack her, talking about you had an affair with a married man and, your lying and your deceit and all that kind of stuff is the reason why you here today. It's because of your sin. And she was like, she didn't have much of a choice because he was either be a handmaid or it was go to the colonies. Then they say, well, you decided to be, and it was like, what? But that means you chose it, right? That's a yes or a no. She says, I did not choose to get raped when I was 9 months pregnant. And then Waterford interrupts them, and he starts saying how, it works because the only place the birth rate is rising is in their place because it works. And, this is it was a ceremony. It was a holy ceremony, and they've chosen the Lord. they've chosen the Lord, and for that they've been rewarded. And he pat, Serena belly, runs up to him and says, how have I been rewarded for my suffering? He says, your daughter, your beautiful daughter, and your other daughter, you know what I'm saying? I was kind to you. I let you see them. Like, he really is in a whole nother world. Fred is like totally gone. He has drunken the Kool-Aid, honey. He is on some other stuff. She said, baby, I am done. Anything else that need to be said, it can wait till your trial. I'm out of here. And she walks away from them. We see Lawrence and Lydia talk. And basically, he telling her, listen, girl, I can't have these reports be coming through here about you up here tasing bitches. Like, this is not cute. You need to expend your energy doing something else. And I understand. I know you upset about June because she won. She beat you. She prevailed, sis. And she out there singing like a bird, talking about you. I get it, because people don't like me either. Okay? Need to figure out another way to get rid of some of this anger. And guess what? We found Janine. Oh, yes. We found Janine, got captured. So now we get us a little bit of what's happening to Janine. And baby, when I tell you I'm upset about it, I don't know, I'm sad. Like, Janine just can't never catch a break. Sam, sis. Woo! Come on, Janine. Says, I know you like to inflict pain, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I don't like to inflict pain. And he's like, girl, stop playing. You know what I'm saying? We all got hobbies. We know you like to shock people, beat the shit out of people. Like, girl, stop. He tells her these reports are going to stop. He was like, you going to fire me? No, I'm not going to fire you. Like I said, we found Janine, and, here's your outlet. You can do with her what you want to do with her. And baby, when he showed her a picture of Janine, she about to fell out. She was like, not this girl. She has been led astray. Lydia's coming to a crisis of faith, I think. Like I said, we're just taking one baby step after another to get there. But you can see that they're trying to give her some type of redemption arc because she really loves Janine. Not exactly sure what kind of love it is, but she definitely loves Janine and doesn't want to just dispose of her or kill her like she probably would do June if she got a hold of her. June brings on Irene to the next group meeting. I said, child, June is a mess in this episode. So she puts her in the middle of the circle, kind of like they do the handmaids when they do something wrong, or it's a ceremony that the handmaids did, right? Am I tripping? But she puts her seat in the middle. And so everybody votes to let her stay because Moira's kind of against it, but they leave it up to Emily, and Emily says it's fine, but you can tell that she's visibly very uncomfortable. So Irene explains, who she was, the fact that she, the physical punishment that they did. And, this is really June questioning her like they were in court, right? So, like, she took the position of Aunt Lydia or whoever would be in a ceremony that's something like this, questioning her. So she questions her about the whole situation. And she's like, basically I heard that she had a lover at her last posting. And so her and the girl continued to have the relationship after she was reassigned. And so she told the eyes. And so, baby, the eyes don't play, baby. Okay, so they hung that lady and put that lady on the wall. So that's why that lady got hung. Okay? And that's why Emily got mutilated, baby. I said, oh my God. Basically, she said since she's found out she was here, she hasn't had a moment of peace. Okay? She wants her forgiveness. So, this done pissed June off. June said, baby, you told on this lady, got this lady hung, got this lady mutilated. Then you got on the plane and you got your ass to Canada. You free. You pretended like you wasn't no damn auntie. Done lied to the people. And now you gonna come up in here thinking you could just erase everything you did in the past, talk about you want some forgiveness. Girl, why do you think you deserve forgiveness? And the lady is just on the edge, baby. She is, what can I do to make it better? What can I do? And Emily, rightfully so, she was like, girl, it's not nothing you can do to make it better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they mutilated her. Girl, it's not nothing you could do. It's not nothing you could do, sis. And when I tell you, the lady was like, like, girl, you better cry. Come on, actress. That's acting. So they collect her ass and she, leave up out of there. So after it's over with, June and Luke are eating at home and Moira's not there noticeably. Moira said, well, I'm tired of your ass, so I'm going home, baby. She seems pleased with herself because she has successfully taken over this lady group. They have a little small talk, group was good, blah, blah, blah. And so he apologizes about coming to the hearing. But, at least he was like, at least I know everything that happened and now we can move on. And so she's like, he's like, well, if you want to talk about Hannah or anything, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to talk, like I'm cool. And so he's like, okay, well, I'm here. And he starts to get frustrated with her as he starts to cry, because he's trying. Luke is getting on my nerves. I mean, how long has she been there? Has it been 6 months? Has it been 1 month? How long has it been? Because damn, she been captured for like 7 years, my nigga. Like, you know what I mean? 6, 7 years. Like, she gonna need more than a month to decompress. Give it some time. He's just so impatient to me. I don't know. Luke is getting on my nerves episode with all that damn crying. She kisses on him and, she tries to have sex with him. And he's like, no. He refuses to have sex with her and tells her that he just wants to talk to him. And she looks at him, with the evil June face. It was like an evil June face, like...
Yo, bitch, I don't want to talk to you. You came to the court after I told you you don't. You told a man about house, and I told you I ain't tell you to tell him that.
That's how she was looking at him. Bitch, get away from me. So she walks away from him, and that's the end of that night. Lydia visits Janine. She's locked up in the dungeon. They got Janine, my girl, locked up in a dungeon, y'all. So I don't know what they doing with that lady, but here she go with the BS. We saved you from starvation. It was our men who was cleaning up Chicago. We saved you. And she like, girl, where is June? And she was like, June is in Canada. She was like, she's in Canada. Her whole face lit up like I knew she was going to make it to Canada. She was like, I don't know why you so happy, girl. She left you, sis. She could have brought you if she wanted to, but she didn't. Maybe you was just too much trouble this time. And so Janine, it was a slight, glimmer of a tink in Janine's armor, but you can see that Janine was holding strong. And Janine was like, listen, I know what happens here. I know what goes on here. She was like, please don't make me a handmaid anymore. And Lydia is like, she's corrupted you. Look, everything she touches, she corrupts it. She ruins it. She ruined you. You've spent your entire life losing people you love. I mean, girl, she went into this whole diatribe. And Janine was like, girl, please. I ain't nobody talking about all that, girl. Just don't make me a handmaid no more. Please do not send me out in service anymore. I'd just rather die up in here. And so Lydia, stands up and tells her there's no need for all these theatrics. And then she starts crying and break down and she hugs her. Because like I said, she has feelings for her. And I don't think, she knows, like, you sending this girl off to get raped. Not on Lydia. Moira and Emily talk and kind of process what happened. And, Moira's pissed. She feels like what June did was real shitty or whatever. And Emily is like, well, she thought it would help. And did it help? And I don't know if it helped. And, she said, do you want to see her again? And she says, I don't have nothing else to say. Moira's giving her therapist. We all trying to move forward the best way we know how and take the things that we have and, make it into something useful. And then she says, I know that the ICC is not only going after the Waterfords. Basically, you need to go talk to this woman because maybe she could testify and be a witness for them. This will be a great witness. That's something that she can do to make things better. And so Emily is like, you know what, sis, you're right. So she gets in the car. She drives out there, honey. I don't know if it was the next day or whatever. But by the time she make it to the lady property, the popo is on the scene, baby. Because this lady have hung herself, my God. Like just like a Judas. She hung herself. And I thought it was interesting that she died the same way that she got that lady killed, baby. Okay, so you hang yourself. Do what you had to do. Now, it was like, June inspires violence in these people, whereas she could have been an asset to them by being a witness or whatever. So I do kind of feel like, even though Moira would be forcing stuff sometimes, like sometimes you have to do sometimes you have to do things a different way, June, okay? But June is out for blood, honey. So as she turns around and drives away, Emily kind of have a little smirk on the face. You know, you can tell it's a moment of joy on the inside. I don't know if y'all saw that, but I definitely saw that. The Waterfords, you know, she walks up to Fred. She's going to court with him again today. He was like, oh, you going to court me today? And, you know, she was like, do you believe what you were saying up in there saying yesterday? And he was like, absolutely, I believe. And she was like, oh, okay. You know, so she grabbed his hand, and baby, when I tell you, she walks out there, and they have some protesters, some dummies in Canada who support them now, okay, out there hollering and screaming. So now they got a little clout, honey, and she was giving full theatrical theater. Oh my gosh, sympathetic face. And it was like amazing how fake this lady is. This fake ass bitch, boy. I mean, Serena is the fake ass hoe, and I love it for her. So they walk out and the people hollering and screaming. It was one black man on. So I said, boy, if you don't get your... So they smiling, and now they got a little backing. So, you know, I guess probably this is going to be a political movement type of situation for them. We're gonna see how they leverage this new, you know, popularity, fans and protesters that's going their way. So we're back at the group, okay, and Irene, they're dealing with the news and the fallout or whatever. And so they first start off and it's like, oh, they're so sad, you know what I'm saying? And then the trial would have been better, and you know they go around the group and different things are said. What do you think, Maura? And Maura says, I don't think, you know, we're all as bad as the worst thing that we've all done. They start talking about how Emily shouldn't feel guilty. What that lady did was her choice, and you know, kind of just like giving her all these different feelings. And you know, June is like, well, why don't we just let Emily say how she feels if she wants to? So Emily says she feels amazing. She's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm glad that she's dead. Okay, and I hope that I had something to do with it. I was like, wow. I'm out here inspiring hoes to want to be killers. The ladies around the group start, you know, co-signing her. They start saying, you know, man, if I could get to my guy, I would cut off his wee-wee and I would make him eat it. And I said, one lady said I would get the broom handle on the wife. I said, wait a minute now, hold up. Mara said, hold. Now y'all doing too much. Now, our anger is a valid emotion, okay? If you want to be angry, I get it. I understand it. But we can't live there. We can't live where the anger resides, okay? June was like, well, why not, bitch? Who says that healing is the only goal? Why can't we be mad? We don't have the right to be just as furious as we want to be. And Maura was just like, well, ladies, it's the hour, okay? The hour is up. Let's go ahead and go. And then June was like, well, I'll stay if, you know, some people want to stay. And then the other ladies was like, okay, we're going to stay. Sure, that sounds great. We'll stay. I said, child, you done took over this lady, you done took over this lady group. Get out of here. So after the group is over with, she goes home to Luke. And Luke is in the bedroom crying. Okay, he up in the bedroom crying. You can tell he been crying just all night. The baby just been distraught crying. And so she goes to him and she hugs him and she's like, look, I need to tell you the truth. I need to tell you about the last time that I saw Hannah. And that's how the episode goes off. I thought it was a good episode. Like I said, Elizabeth Moss directed it, so you know we got a lot of close-ups, a whole lot of close-ups. She really likes to do close-ups a lot. Okay. Yes, the last week, let me tell y'all something. Y'all wore me out about them damn hijabs, honey. Y'all wore me out to the white meat. Okay, I apologize. It was a hijab. I put it in a sentence like this across the video. Okay, it was red and white. I made a mistake and I tried to fix it. I'm gonna do that. Just know that I love you all, but I don't know why you think that because you say something crazy to me that I wouldn't say anything crazy back to you. Okay, I'm just letting you know now. And then I would just block you. Sometimes I won't. You know, it depends on what you said. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I have 3,000 subscribers. I don't have 300,000 subscribers. And even if I did, I still might have time. I might have time. So yes. But like I said, it was a good episode. You know, the Canada storyline has always been kind of boring to me. So it wasn't a super exciting episode for me, but I thought it was interesting how they're kind of setting everything up for this epic battle between the two people. And I kind of think that Serena and Fred, we can't count them out just yet. So they got a little bit of fight left up in them. And I think that June is going to end up back in Gilead, y'all. I think that this whole, we're going to work it out family mess is not going to work with her. And look, we can see that shit ain't working. Okay, it ain't working, child. It won't work. Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts about this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with all your friends, and I will holler at y'all next week.